Have you ever trusted someone so completely that you'd give them the power to destroy your entire life? My name is Jason. I'm 49 years old, and I spent 25 years working cargo ships across the Pacific Ocean to build a future with the woman I loved. I thought the biggest danger in my job was rough seas and equipment failures, but I was wrong. The real threat was waiting for me at home. When my wife called me via Zoom while I was 3,000 miles out at sea, she calmly told me she'd liquidated our entire life savings and was leaving me for her dance instructor, all while I was trapped on a ship with no way to stop her. But what if I told you that devastating phone call was just the tip of an iceberg that would nearly destroy everything I thought I knew about love, trust, and the person sleeping in my bed? Blood rushed from my face as Celeste's voice cut through the static of our video call. Jason, I took all the money from our savings accounts. I'm leaving you for Roman, my dance instructor. 3 months at sea aboard the cargo ship Northern Star had prepared me for rough weather, but nothing could have prepared me for this storm. My wife's face filled the small screen in my cramped quarters, her expression cold and distant. Behind her, I could see our living room in Maple Ridge, the same room where we'd celebrated our 5th wedding anniversary just 4 months ago. What are you talking about? My voice cracked like a teenager's. Celeste, this isn't funny. She tilted her head slightly, the way she did when explaining something obvious to a child. I liquidated our mutual funds yesterday. All $238,000. The money is already moved to a new account. Her words came out smooth and practiced, like she'd been rehearsing this speech for weeks. My stomach dropped to somewhere near my boots. You can't just do that. Those accounts require both our signatures. Actually, I can. She held up a folder of papers. Remember when you signed those power of attorney forms before you left? You said it was just in case something happened to you at sea. A smile played at the corners of her mouth, but it wasn't the warm smile I'd fallen in love with. This smile belonged to a stranger. The satellite connection wavered, making her image flicker like a ghost. I trusted you, I whispered. We built that savings together. That money was for our future. My future is with Roman now. She leaned closer to the camera. He understands me in ways you never could. He's passionate about life, about dance, about taking risks. You're always gone, always choosing the ocean over me. My hand shook as I gripped the desk. I work at sea to support us. Every month away from you is torture, but I do it because I love you. Love. She laughed, but the sound was sharp and bitter. When was the last time you danced with me? When did you last surprise me with flowers or take me somewhere exciting? Celeste, please. We can work this out. I'll quit the shipping company. I'll find work on land. Her expression hardened. It's too late for that. Roman and I are leaving tonight. We're driving to Las Vegas first, then who knows where. The world is full of possibilities when you're not tied down to someone who's never home. What about our house? Our dog? Our life together? I'm selling the house. Cooper is going to my sister's farm where he'll be happier. As for our life, she shrugged. Some things just run their course. The casual way she dismissed 5 years of marriage hit me like a physical blow. I need to talk to you in person. I can request emergency leave and be home in 4 days. Don't bother. By then, Roman and I will be long gone. She started to reach for something off camera, probably to end the call. Wait, I shouted. At least tell me why. What did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? She paused, her hand frozen in midair. For just a moment, something flickered across her face. Guilt? Regret? But it vanished so quickly I might have imagined it. You didn't do anything wrong, Jason. You're a good man. But good isn't enough anymore. I need excitement. I need someone who makes me feel alive. Her voice softened slightly. Roman makes me feel like I'm the only woman in the world. I thought I made you feel that way. You did. Once. But people change. I've changed. She looked directly into the camera. I've already filed for divorce. You'll get the papers next week. The room felt like it was spinning. Divorce? Celeste, we can go to counseling. We can fix this. There's nothing to fix. This isn't broken. It's just over. She picked up a piece of paper from her desk. I made a list of things you can have from the house. Your tools, your books, your fishing gear. Everything else stays with me. You're taking everything I worked for. I'm taking what I deserve after 5 years of being married to a ghost. Her voice turned sharp again. Do you know how many nights I've eaten dinner alone? How many birthdays and anniversaries you've missed? I always made up for it when I got home. Making up for it isn't the same as being there. She stood up, and I could see she was wearing a red dress I'd never seen before. Roman never misses dinner. He's never too tired to hold me. He's never more interested in his phone than in me. I can change. I don't want you to change. I want you to let me go. Her voice was final now, like a judge reading a sentence. Please, Celeste, don't do this over a video call. I deserve better than this. You deserve exactly what you gave me, distance and loneliness. She moved closer to the camera one last time. Goodbye, Jason. I hope you find someone who enjoys being alone as much as you do. The screen went black. I stared at the blank monitor for what felt like hours. The gentle rocking of the ship continued, but my world had stopped moving. My wife, my best friend, my partner, my everything, had just destroyed our life together with the cold efficiency of a business transaction. Around me, the ship's engines hummed their steady rhythm. Somewhere above, my crewmates were probably sharing stories and playing cards. Life continued as normal for everyone except me. I opened my laptop and tried to log into our bank accounts, but my hand was shaking too badly to type. The numbers on the screen blurred together through my tears. Everything we'd built together was gone. Everything I'd worked for was gone. And somewhere in Nevada, my wife was probably packing her bags with another man. Banking websites loaded with the speed of molasses as I sat hunched over my laptop in the ship's communication room. The Wi-Fi signal barely managed 2 bars, but I needed answers more than I needed a strong connection. Our checking account showed a balance of $347.82. Last month, it had held over $15,000. The joint savings account displayed zeros across every column. My stomach churned as I scrolled through the withdrawal history. Large withdrawal, $14,650. ATM Pacific City Bank. Wire transfer, $238,000. Mutual fund liquidation. Electronic transfer, $25,000. Home equity line of credit. Each transaction was dated within the past week. While I'd been hauling containers across the Pacific, Celeste had been systematically emptying our financial life. The home equity line of credit hit me like a punch to the gut. We'd taken that loan 2 years ago to renovate the kitchen. Now it showed a balance of $89,000 drawn against our house's value. Money that didn't exist anymore. My phone buzzed with a text from our bank. Unusual account activity detected. Please contact customer service immediately. Too late for that warning. I called our financial advisor, Jason Burke, from the ship's satellite phone. The call cost $3 per minute, but I needed to understand how this happened. Jason's voice crackled through the connection. I was wondering when you'd call. Your wife came in Tuesday with some paperwork. What kind of paperwork? Power of attorney documents. She said there was a family emergency and she needed to liquidate your investments quickly. His tone shifted uncomfortably. She seemed very upset about your mother's medical bills. My mother had been dead for 6 years. Jason, I never gave permission for this. And my mother passed away in 2018. Silence stretched across the satellite connection. Jason, she had legal documentation. Notarized forms with your signature. She knew details about your accounts that only you would know. What kind of details? Your first pet's name for the security question. Your mother's maiden name. The date you opened your first account with us. Jason's voice grew quieter. She also had a man with her. Tall guy, dark hair, very polite. He knew about your shipping routes and when you'd be back in port. Ice formed in my veins. She brought someone with her. She introduced him as her brother, but Jason paused. He asked very specific questions about maritime employment and how often sailors have limited communication access. Roman had been planning this. While I'd been falling asleep to video calls with my wife, she'd been sharing every detail of my life with him. My work schedule, my bank information, my security questions, everything he needed to time this perfectly. Can we reverse the transactions? The mutual fund liquidation went through their standard processing. It'll take weeks to investigate, and only if we can prove fraud. Jason's voice carried bad news. Jason, I have to ask, did you really not know about this? I'm 3,000 miles away on a cargo ship. How could I know? Because she also submitted a request to liquidate your maritime retirement account. That form had your signature too, and it was dated 3 days ago. My retirement account. 15 years of contributions to Coastal Maritime Solutions Pension Fund. Another $156,000 that I'd never see again. Stop that transaction immediately. I already tried calling the pension office. They said the withdrawal was approved yesterday morning. The money transfers to her account on Friday. My legs gave out, and I collapsed into the chair. In less than a week, Celeste had stolen over $500,000 from our joint future. She'd used my trust, my love, and my absence to financially destroy me. Jason, I need you to freeze everything. Every account, every card, every automatic payment. I can freeze what's left, but Jason. He paused. There's something else. She took out a cash advance on both your credit cards. They're maxed out now. How much? $47,500 combined. She must have known the limits. Of course she knew the limits. We discussed them when we'd applied for the cards. She'd been there when we'd set up the accounts, chosen the security questions, and decided on the spending limits. Every piece of financial information I'd share with my wife had been weaponized against me. Can you send me copies of all the paperwork she signed? I'll email everything to you within the hour. Jason, I'm sorry. In 30 years of financial planning, I've never seen anything like this. After hanging up, I stumbled back to my quarters. The ship rolled gently in the Pacific swells, but I felt like I was drowning. My crewmate Tony knocked on my door. Hey, you missed dinner again. You okay? My wife cleaned out our bank accounts and ran off with another man. Tony's face fell. Jesus, Jason. How much did she take? Everything. Our savings, our investments, our retirement money. She even maxed out her credit cards. Can't you stop her? She had power of attorney. Everything she did was technically legal. I showed him the banking app on my phone. Look at this. 5 years of marriage, 15 years of working at sea, and I've got $347 to my name. Tony sat down heavily on my buck. My divorce cost me half of everything, but at least I knew it was coming. This is just theft. She planned it perfectly. Waited until I was thousands of miles away with limited communication. Brought her boyfriend to the bank to make sure she got every detail right. I felt anger building alongside the grief. She used our love against me. What are you going to do? I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out how deep this goes. I opened my laptop again. If she planned this for months, there's got to be a trail, and I'm going to follow it. The screen flickered to life, showing my email inbox. Jason's message was already there with 17 attachments. Bank forms, withdrawal slips, and signatures that looked exactly like mine. But something was wrong with the dates. Roman Volkov's LinkedIn profile stared back at me from the ship's computer screen like a smoking gun. Maritime Logistics Consultant. Specialized in crew scheduling and route optimization. Contract work with Pacific Shipping Alliance, Northern Maritime Group, and Coastal Transport Solutions. My shipping company used all 3 of those contractors. Sleep had become impossible since discovering the forged dates on my bank documents. For the past 2 days, I've been digging through every digital footprint I could find about my wife's dance partner. What I discovered made my blood run cold. Roman hadn't just stolen my money. He'd been studying my life for months. His company website showed client testimonials dating back 3 years. One review mentioned excellent knowledge of maritime schedules and crew rotation patterns. Another praised his understanding of sailor family dynamics and communication limitations. This wasn't romance. This was business. I scrolled through his Facebook photos, finding pictures of him at maritime industry conferences, networking events, and shipping company holiday parties. In one photo from last December, he stood next to my supervisor, Captain Williams, both holding drinks and smiling. My hands trembled as I realized the truth. Roman had been at my company's Christmas party, the same party where Celeste had complained about being bored and wanted to leave early. The same party where I'd spent the evening talking shop with other sailors while she sat alone at her table. He'd been watching us that night. A deeper search revealed Roman's criminal history. 3 arrests for fraud in different states, though charges were dropped each time. 2 restraining orders filed by former girlfriends. One bankruptcy filing that listed assets seized by federal marshals. But the most disturbing discovery came when I found a Reddit thread titled Romance Scam Warning, Roman V. The first post was from a woman named Jennifer in Seattle. This man targeted my husband through his work in the oil industry. He learned our schedules, our finances, and our marriage problems. Then he seduced me and convinced me to empty our accounts. We lost everything. 17 other women had replied with similar stories. My wife wasn't Roman's first victim. She was just his latest mark in a pattern spanning 5 years and 8 states. I screenshotted everything and sent it to my personal email. Then I called the number listed in Jennifer's post. Hello. Her voice sounded tired and defeated. Jennifer, my name is Jason. I found your post about Roman Volkov. He just did the same thing to me and my wife. Oh God, not again. She sighed heavily. When did it happen? 3 days ago. He convinced my wife to liquidate our savings and run away with him. Over $500,000 total. Jesus, he's getting bolder. My husband and I only lost $85,000. Jennifer's voice grew stronger. Listen, you need to know something. Roman doesn't work alone. He has a whole network that helps him identify targets. What kind of network? Dance studios, gym trainers, social media consultants. They find lonely spouses of people who travel for work. Military families, sailors, truckers, oil workers. Anyone who's gone for months at a time. My stomach dropped. Celeste started taking dance lessons 6 months ago. That's how they hook them. The dance instructor builds trust, learns about the family's finances, then introduces them to Roman. He's charming, attentive, everything the traveling spouse isn't getting at home. So, my wife was targeted? Probably. But Jason. Jennifer hesitated. Some of the wives know what they're doing. They're not victims, they're partners. They get a cut of the money. That's impossible. Celeste wouldn't do that. That's what my husband said too. Until we found out I've been planning this for 8 months. The loneliness, the complaints about his work schedule, the sudden interest in dance lessons. It was all an act. My world tilted sideways. How can you tell the difference? The real victims fight back when they realize what happened. They try to stop the money transfers, call the police, beg their husbands to forgive them. Jennifer's voice turned bitter. The partners disappear without a trace and never contact their husbands again. Celeste hadn't tried to contact me once since the Zoom call. Jennifer, have you reported this to the FBI? We tried, but Roman's smart. He never technically breaks federal laws. The wives have legal power of attorney. The money transfers are legitimate, and the romance is real enough to avoid fraud charges. There has to be something we can do. There is. We've been building a case with a private investigator. If we can prove Roman's running an organized scheme, we might be able to get federal attention. She paused. Would you be willing to share your evidence? I'll share everything I have. Good. I'll send you our investigator's contact information. His name is Detective Murphy. He's retired FBI and specializes in financial crimes. After hanging up, I stared at the ocean through my small porthole. Somewhere out there, my wife was either a victim of an elaborate con game or a willing participant in my financial destruction. I opened my laptop and began typing a detailed timeline of everything that had happened. Every conversation, every suspicious moment, every red flag I'd ignored because I trusted the woman I'd married. The dance lessons that started exactly when my shipping schedule increased. Her sudden interest in our financial accounts. The way she'd asked detailed questions about my work assignments and communication blackouts. Questions that had seemed like loving concern now felt like intelligence gathering. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Stop digging or you'll regret it. I took a screenshot and added it to my evidence file. Then I texted back, try me. The response came immediately. Your wife told us you were stupid. Guess she was right. My blood boiled. I typed furiously. Where is she? Is she safe? She's fine. For now. But if you keep making trouble, that might change. I stared at the screen, my hands shaking with rage and fear. These people had my wife. Whether she was a victim or a partner, she was still in danger. I needed help, and I needed it fast. Detective Murphy answered on the first ring. Jennifer told me you'd be calling. How bad is it? They just threatened my wife. I think she's in serious danger. Then we need to move quickly. Can you get to San Francisco for an emergency meeting? I'll request immediate shore leave. Good. Meet me tomorrow at the federal building. And Jason, don't contact anyone else about this. If Roman's network is as big as we think, they might have people watching. What about my wife? We'll find her. But first, we need to make sure you're ready for what we might discover. Attorney Priya Mendez spread the legal documents across her San Francisco office desk like a surgeon preparing for a complex operation. Emergency shore leave had cost me a month's pay, but I needed answers more than money. Your wife was very thorough, Priya said, adjusting her glasses. These power of attorney forms are absolutely legitimate, notarized correctly, witnessed properly, and filed with the county clerk. But I never signed them. Actually, you did. She pointed to a date on the document. February 15th, 2024. Do you remember what you were doing that day? My mind raced backward through the months. I was home between shipping contracts. Celeste said we needed to update our wills and insurance policies. She had you sign a stack of documents that day, didn't she? Yes, but she said they were just routine financial updates. The memory hit me like a physical blow. She made dinner, opened a bottle of wine, and we spent the evening signing papers. She said it was boring legal stuff. She buried the power of attorney forms in with legitimate documents. Very clever. Priya pulled out another folder. But that's not the worst part. Your wife filed for divorce in Nevada, claiming you abandoned the marriage. I didn't abandon anything. I was working. She's telling the court that you chose your job over your family and refused to seek marriage counseling. She's asking for spousal support of $4,000 per month. My jaw dropped. $4,000? From what money? She stole everything we had. That's where it gets interesting. Priya leaned forward. She's claiming you have hidden assets that you're concealing from her. Secret accounts, offshore investments, undisclosed income. That's complete nonsense. I know that, and you know that, but the Nevada court doesn't know that yet. She pulled out another document. She's also filed a restraining order against you. A restraining order? For what? She claims you've been sending threatening messages and stalking her through social media. Priya showed me printed screenshots of text messages. These are allegedly from your phone number. I studied the messages in horror. They were filled with violent threats and ugly language I'd never use. I didn't send any of these. I've only tried calling her twice since she left. Someone's been spoofing your phone number. It's not difficult to do with the right software. Priya gathered the papers. Jason, you're in serious legal trouble. If we can't prove these messages are fake, you could face criminal charges. This is insane. I'm the victim here. You're the victim of a very sophisticated con game. But proving that won't be easy. She opened her laptop. I've been researching Roman Volkov. His real name is Roman Kozlov, and he's connected to a crime family that specializes in romance scams. Crime family? The Kozlov organization has been operating for 15 years. They target military families, maritime workers, and other professions that require extended travel. She showed me a police report on her screen. They've stolen over $12 million from 200 families across 12 states. My head spun. So, Celeste really is a victim? That's what we need to find out. Some of the wives are genuine victims who get manipulated and threatened. Others are willing participants who get paid for their cooperation. Priya closed the laptop. The FBI has been investigating the Kozlov family for 3 years, but they've never been able to make arrests stick. Why not? Because everything they do is technically legal. The wives have legitimate power of attorney. The money transfers follow proper banking procedures, and the romance angle makes fraud charges nearly impossible to prove. So, they just get away with it? Not necessarily. The FBI has been working with victims to build a RICO case. If they can prove it's an organized criminal enterprise, they can seize assets and make arrests. How can I help? First, we need to protect you legally. I'm going to file counter motions in Nevada, challenging the divorce and restraining order. She handed me a folder. Second, you need to cooperate fully with the FBI investigation. I'll do whatever it takes. Good. Because Agent Williams wants to meet with you tomorrow morning. Priya's expression grew serious. Jason, there's something else. The FBI thinks your wife might be in danger. What kind of danger? 2 other wives in similar situations have disappeared completely. No contact with family, no social media activity, no credit card usage. Just gone. Fear crashed over me like a rogue wave. You think they killed them? We don't know. But the Kozlov family doesn't like loose ends. She stood up. That's why we need to move fast. If Celeste is genuinely a victim who got in too deep, she might be trying to get out. How would we know? She tried to contact you somehow. A coded message, a social media post, something to let you know she's in trouble. Priya walked to her window, overlooking the San Francisco Bay. The problem is, if she contacts you directly, it could put both of you in more danger. I don't care about the danger. I just want to know if she's safe. That's exactly what the Kozlov family is counting on. They use love as a weapon, Jason. They know you'll do anything to save your wife, even if it means walking into a trap. My phone buzzed with a notification. Instagram message from an account I didn't recognize. The message contained a single photo, Celeste sitting in what looked like a hotel room, holding a newspaper with today's date. Her eyes looked terrified, and there was a bruise on her left cheek. Below the photo was a message: stop the legal proceedings or she gets hurt worse. I showed the phone to Priya, my hands shaking. They have her. This changes everything. She immediately started dialing. Agent Williams needs to see this right now. What do I do? Nothing. Don't respond to that message. Don't try to contact them, and don't make any decisions based on fear. She held the phone to her ear. Agent Williams? It's Priya Mendez. We have a situation. As she spoke to the FBI, I stared at the photo of my wife. Victim or criminal, she was in danger because of me. Because I trusted the wrong people and signed papers without reading them carefully. The game had changed from financial fraud to kidnapping, and I had no idea how to save the woman I still loved. Celeste walked into the downtown Reno cafe, wearing dark sunglasses and a baseball cap pulled low over her face. I barely recognized the confident woman who destroyed my life on that Zoom call just 2 weeks ago. "Thank God you came," she whispered, sliding into the booth across from me. Her hand shook as she pulled off the sunglasses, revealing a black eye and a cut on her lip. "Jesus, Celeste, what did they do to you? Roman isn't who I thought he was." She glanced nervously at the door. "Jason, I made a terrible mistake. I thought I was in love, but I was just a tool in something much bigger." FBI agent Williams had wired me for this meeting. The recording device felt heavy in my jacket pocket as I studied my wife's bruised face. 2 weeks of investigation had led to this moment, but I still didn't know if I could trust her. "Start from the beginning," I said. "How did you meet Roman?" "At the dance studio, just like I told you. But he didn't just happen to be there." She pulled out her phone and showed me a screenshot. "Look at this text I found on his phone yesterday." The message read, "Target confirmed. Husband deploys for 3-month contracts. Wife attends Tuesday classes. Financial assets verified at $500,000 plus. Proceed with phase 2. My blood ran cold. Phase 2, that's when he started paying attention to me. Asking about you, about our marriage, about our money. Tears rolled down her cheeks. He made me feel special, Jason. He said you didn't appreciate me. So you decided to steal our life savings? I didn't steal anything." Her voice rose, then she quickly looked around and lowered it. "Roman told me we were protecting the money from a business partner who was trying to sue you. He said you'd asked him to help move our assets temporarily. And you believe that? He had documents with your signature. He knew details about your work that only you would know." She wiped her eyes. "He said you were too proud to tell me about the legal trouble, but you trusted him to handle it." I studied her face, looking for signs of deception. The bruises were real, but so was her talent for lying. "What about the power of attorney forms?" He helped me prepare those. Said they were standard protection documents that all maritime families should have. She pulled a flash drive from her purse. "But Jason, I found something on his computer. Files with names and photos of dozens of other families." "Other families?" "All maritime workers, military personnel, oil rig operators. Anyone who travels for work and leaves their spouse alone for months." She slid the flash drive across the table. "He's been doing this for years. We're not the only ones." I pocketed the drive. "Why should I believe you now?" because I found out what happens to the wives who figure out the truth." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Two women tried to back out of the scheme. Roman's people made them disappear. Made them disappear how? I don't know exactly. But their husbands never heard from them again. No phone calls, no texts, no social media activity. Just gone." She grabbed my hand across the table. "Jason, I'm scared. I know too much now. Where's the money?" Roman moved it through multiple accounts. Some went to offshore banks, some to cryptocurrency, some to shell companies. She showed me another screenshot from his phone. "But I memorized some of the account numbers before he caught me looking." "He caught you?" "Yesterday morning. That's when he hit me." She touched the bruise on her cheek. "He said I was asking too many questions. Then he locked me in a hotel room with two men watching the door." "How did you get away?" "I didn't get away. They let me come here." Her voice cracked. "Jason, this is a trap. They want you to meet with me so they can eliminate both of us." My heart stopped. "What do you mean eliminate?" "Roman's not just running romance scams. He's working for a crime family that launders money through stolen assets." She looked toward the cafe windows. "They kill people who become problems." I followed her gaze and saw two men in dark suits sitting in a car across the street. "We need to leave. Now." "We can't. If I don't return to the hotel by 3 o'clock, they'll assume I warned you." She checked her watch. "We have 20 minutes. Celeste, the FBI is already involved. Agent Williams has been building a case against the Kozlov family for months." Her eyes widened. "You contacted the FBI?" "I had to. They've been tracking Roman's activities across multiple states." I pulled out my phone. "I can call Agent Williams right now. She can have federal marshals here in 10 minutes. "No." She grabbed my wrist. "If they see FBI agents, they'll run. And they'll kill me before they go." "Then what do you suggest?" "Give me the evidence you've collected. Let me take it back to them and pretend I convinced you to drop the investigation." She leaned closer. "I could be a double agent. Feed information to the FBI while staying close to Roman. That's too dangerous. It's the only way to save the other families and recover the stolen money." She pulled out a piece of paper. "I made a list of all the victims I know about. 17 families, Jason. Over $3 million stolen." I studied the list. Names, addresses, amount stolen. Some families had lost everything, just like us. "There's something else," Celeste said quietly. "Roman's planning something big. A final score that will let him retire from his business." "What kind of score?" "There's a military family in Colorado. The husband deploys next month for a 6-month assignment. They have retirement savings, investment accounts, and a trust fund worth over $2 million. We have to warn them." "We will. But first, we need to make Roman think his plan is working." She stood up. "Jason, I know you have every reason not to trust me, but I'm asking you to give me one chance to make this right." I looked at my wife, bruised, scared, but determined to fix the damage she'd helped cause. Either she was the best actress in the world, or she was genuinely trying to save us both. "What do you need me to do?" "Go back to your ship. Act like you're giving up the investigation. Let Roman think he's won." She handed me a small device. "This is a GPS tracker. Hide it in your cabin. If something happens to me, the FBI will know where to look. And if something happens to you, then make sure Roman pays for what he's done to all of us." She kissed my cheek. "I love you, Jason. I never stopped loving you, even when I was too stupid to see what was really happening." As she walked away, I sat in the cafe, wondering if I'd just agreed to save my wife or help her destroy me completely. 6 months later, I stood in our rebuilt Maple Ridge kitchen watching Celeste flip pancakes on the same stove where she'd once planned my financial destruction. The FBI raid on the Kozlov crime network had made national headlines, and our story had become a case study in how organized crime adapts to modern technology. "The final restitution check came yesterday," she said, sliding a plate across the counter. $186,000 recovered from seized assets. Not everything, but enough to start over. Starting over seems to be our specialty now. I poured coffee into the new mugs we'd bought to replace everything sold during the crisis. Agent Williams called this morning. Roman's sentencing hearing is next week. Celeste's face darkened at the mention of his name. How long will he get? 15 to 20 years for racketeering, money laundering, and conspiracy. The other families he targeted are testifying too. I sat down beside her. Your testimony was the key to breaking the whole operation. I just told the truth about what I saw and heard. You did more than that. You risked your life to gather evidence and protect other families. I took her hand. The FBI said without your inside information, Roman would have stolen millions more before they caught him. She squeezed my fingers. I still can't believe how easily I fell for his lies. He made me feel like you didn't care about our marriage anymore.